I'm amazing. I'm amazing. Oh, what the hell? Oh, he killed me.
I'm getting brutally slaughtered.
No, that was an accident. No, that was an accident. That was an accident. Ooh, was that a triple collapse? Get up! No! Ah! No! Get up! Get up! No! Oh! No! Somebody this happened to me. Oh. What did I do? It's an accident. Oh, what? What? Why? Why? What? I hate this game. I freaking hate this game. Oh, I fell. I did the water fucking thing. I did the water fucking thing.
Nice.
Don't touch it. No!
Last Pokemon left, and our full team still with us. The nerves were high, but seeing that it was a Torkoal gave us some relief.
Torkoal. I changed to the wrong guy. Hydro pump the hell out of him. Let's go!
Just like that, we defeated the champion of the Hoenn region in our first ever Pokemon Nuzlocke.
I had myself muted, of course. Let's fix the lighting. Okay. Whew. Let's see. Oh. Last time, what were we doing? Last time we were training. We're still trying to get them all up to around level 25. Time to go crazy and break my fingers. Ooh, level 17. Should I learn Whirlwind? Whirlwinds can actually be useful in preventing like Swords Dance and stuff like that. If we're faster. So do I take out Tackle for Whirlwind?
Hello there.
Hey, what's up, yo? How you doing? What's up, Prince? How you doing? How you guys doing? I'm thinking to teach world... Oh yeah, thanks for watching the videos, Prince. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. I saw your comments. I'm fine. What about you guys? I'm doing terrible. Nah, I'm actually doing awesome. I don't know why. I was just walking my dog. Wait. Okay, that's better. I was just walking my dog, and I was thinking about, like, Japan and the students, and I started tearing up. I'm like, oh, I miss them. But aside from that, I'm doing good. And then I listened to some nice songs, and I just felt good. I'm thinking to teach Whirlwind, so that, cause like if someone sets up with like Dragon Dance and stuff like that, or Minimize, I could just Whirlwind them, and that takes away all the status effects. But I don't know what I would take out. I guess I could take out Sand Attack. Actually, Quick Attack is... or I could just not teach him Whirlwind. What do you guys think? Same here, just came back from football game. Wait, football as in soccer, right? Haha, my American brain didn't take over. I guess it kinda did. Nice, yep. Yeah? Did you win the game? No. You played with coworkers or your students or friends, or were you watching a game? Was it a professional game? Was it a FIFA game? Were you playing FIFA on the console? Or... It was a draw? Oh. Whirlwind might be a good replacement for Tackle since you have Quick Attack. That's what I was thinking, but Tackle is stronger than Quick Attack. But then again, if I want to do damage, Flying would be better, because Tackle is not super effective against anything anyway. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll take out Tackle. Hey, Cortez, what's up? Wait, did you see that? Wait, you could see the previous chat? Argentina played also draw. Wait, how do you see that? Were you in chat like at 8:30 or it just popped up? Or you had the browser open? Because I was testing out, if you guys paid attention, now when you guys message in chat, on the bottom left, something pops out that says like, hello there, or what's up, or whatever. And it says, hello there, the sound alert. And I don't need to touch anything. So I just added that, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool to me. I think we're gonna be able, but how you doing, Cortez? What games are you playing nowadays? I'm still confused, yo. Argentina played also draw. Were you watching? Oh, Argentina played, and they drew like professionally, and you played, and you got a draw. Got it. The force is strong in this one. I know, right? Isn't that cool? The only annoying thing about Whirlwind is that it's my first move, so I have to keep going like this. So you're gonna beat red today? 100%. The only problem is I don't know if there's any crazy random stuff after red. Like if there's like a level 40 trainer that I have to verse later on, I'm gonna be like, bruh. But if they all steadily increase, I think this will be a good run. That being said, we do have to release every other Pokemon, so it's still kind of scary. Oh, let's go! Voldy's evolving. Let's go. That's the spirit.
Hello there.
Hey Diego, what's up? It's so cool. I don't need to press any. I've been pressing the hello button for probably a year in a row. Technology. What's up? Home trailer just came out a half hour ago. Home trailer? What does that mean? Bring home again. Remember when? Yo, look at that beautiful boy, Voldy. He's actually gonna be good now. Coming home again.
There's my face. My sexy face. Twitter wasn't working. I was gonna tweet that I'm live. That's like all my tweets. I have to fix it. Oh, Spider-Man. No Way Home. I still haven't watched the second Spider-Man. What is this, a trailer for the third one? You love Spider-Man, right, Diego? I remember when I was talking about possibly playing the Spider-Man game, you're like, oh my god, this is my favorite superhero. And I was like, bro, I don't care. No, I didn't say that, but... I hope you realize that after Red, if you die, then you would have to do all of this all over. I do realize that. That's why part of me wanted to look up, you know, the game to see if there's any other crazy parts. Because it's kind of dumb to do a Nuzlocke in a game you've never played before, but I'm kind of dumb. But then another part of me is like, nah, that's not fun. Fallen Angel, yeah. Perfect timing. I do hear... I mean, it feels long sometimes, but honestly, being able to speed this up is great. That's why, for the new game, for Brilliant Diamond, I don't think I'm gonna do a Nuzlocke, because I don't want to reset. I think I'm just gonna play the game, and then I'm gonna upload the stream as a video, called, you know, and then I don't know. I guess I'll do highlights from 24-hour stream or something. I'm doing my first ever Nuzlocke in a game I've never played, so. Oh yeah, that's true. Wait, I know you're doing a Nuzlocke. What game were you doing a Nuzlocke on again? Was it Red? Was it Leaf Green Fire Red? Have you never played Leaf Green Fire Red, or am I remembering incorrectly? AFK, BRB? Oh, okay, okay. What's the light? What's the truth? Oh my god, I have to freaking watch anime already. What to believe? I have to watch Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer, Boruto, One Piece I'm pretty caught up on, and some other anime, as they say in Japan. Bro, I hate having to train against level frickin' 2. Ugh. What's the truth? Yeah. What does it mean? It's actually not that bad in English, but it's kind of funny at the same time. You were gonna ask a question? Yeah, I was gonna say, what was the Nuzlocke you were doing again? I thought you were doing Fire Red or something, no? And I remember I'm pretty sure Yo was saying he was doing Emerald for the Nuzlocke? Or maybe I have terrible memory. Yeah? Eh. How's that Nuzlocke going? First ever Nuzlocke. Oh yeah, it was Hard Gold. Hard Gold. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, but you've never played Hard Gold before? I don't know why I thought... Yeah, I remember now. I even mentioned... Oh, that's pretty tough because it's 2 regions. I remember mentioning that. Fallen angel. Yeah, but ROM hacks I feel like could have spicy stuff thrown out of nowhere at you. The main games, you know, they're pretty... You'll be okay. I think the hardest main game is Diamond and Pearl, or Platinum, I think, was the hardest main game considered. The hardest one. I've never played Platinum, surprisingly. I played like the first 5-10 minutes in Japanese to practice, and then I got lazy. Because there's so much dialogue.
Hello there.
First ever Hey, Doctor, what's up? What's that emote? I'm so excited, I don't need to press this button anymore. You guys still hear it though, right? It's like, it just makes my life so much easier. You guys might not understand it, but it's like, you know, I don't need to do this. It's cool. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. Pretty good. I have to play anytime soon. Nice. Have to play soon. First ever Nuzlocke and first playthrough of Hard Gold. That's crazy, bro. How are you liking it so far? How far have you guys gotten in your Nuzlocks, if you don't mind me asking? And how you doing, Doctor? Have you been editing your game that I want to play? Have you even beaten it yet? Like, because I remember you took a break from playing it, right? Because it was like insanely hard. I don't hear the hello there. No, you gotta be kidding me.
Hello there.
You hear it. It's just not... It's not that loud, maybe?
Hello there.
Every time you guys let me take that off. Every time you guys come into chat, the first word you say, it should be like hello there. It actually pops. It actually works. It's supposed to work. I don't know, whatever. I'm just gonna assume it worked. That time I heard it. Oh, the other times it didn't. Oh, whatever. I actually played Pokemon Y in French to practice. Oh, that's sick. Was pretty fitting too, since the region was based on France. Oh, that's right. Wait, how good are you in French, Cortez? I know your Korean is fantastic. Sorry for the sarcasm, but I play Pokemon in English to practice. Yeah, that's awesome. That's why I was playing it in Japanese to practice, but I got too lazy. But your English is so good that it's probably, you know, easy to like play it and practice. I play so far in Hard Gold. I'm in the city with the 3rd batch. Oh, okay. I don't remember too much of Hard Gold. I haven't. Well, I had Hard Gold actually. I haven't played it in years. I haven't done anything in weeks. I have college apps and research paper. Haven't had the time or motivated. Yo. Fair enough, man. Damn. You're all grown up, doctor. Going to college. I say as if I've known you for years. 4 years of high school, good. Have you played... Wait, what do you mean 4 years of high school, good? Oh, you learned French for 4 years in high school, so it's pretty good. Nice. Have you played Sword and Shield? Yes. I've played every main Pokemon game. Well, I played every main generation, but I haven't played every main game. Like, I haven't played the original games. Like, I never played Red, Blue, Green, but I played Fire Red, Leaf Green. I played Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond, very tiny bit of Platinum. I played Y, Pokemon Y. I played Pokemon Moon, Ultra Moon. What? Yeah. What am I missing? I'm missing something. What am I missing, guys? Y and there was. Oh, Black and White and Black and White 2. Well, I played Black and Black 2. And Sword and Shield. Yep. Hey, my IQ. Thanks, bro. I took Spanish for 3 years and I'm still shit. Bro, I took Spanish for... Wait, how old am I? I took it in middle school for like 2 years or something. I took it like 3 years in high school. I took it like 5 years, bro, and I still don't know Spanish. Mierda, that means shit. I do not know Spanish. But when I hear Spanish, I could understand a decent amount of it. So that's kind of cool. Why do I keep using fly? Like a stupid. There we go. Why is the next song not playing? There we go. Pokemon Tournament. I haven't played Pokemon Tournament. Pokemon Tournament is not a main series game though, right? I played Pokemon Rangers when I was little. And Mystery Dungeon. 1 or 2 of them. I don't remember too well though. Me being Hispanic and can't understand Spanish. Wow. That's pretty bad, bro. You know what I've realized? There's a lot of Hispanic viewers. Not everyone, obviously, but... Is it because I look Hispanic? Do I look Hispanic, guys? I don't look Hispanic, right? You do? Hey, let's go. That's why. A bit. Oh. Bro, I look like everything. I feel like I could be like the best FBI agent. Like in New York, if I go to certain places, like people think I'm Turkish. I've gotten Turkish. I've gotten Israeli. Ow. I've gotten Italian. I've gotten like I could have been the best Secret Service agent or whatever. The only problem is I would need to learn all those languages, which is a lot of work. Maybe more South American. You look Mexican. You kind of do, but you already know how I found out your channel. True. True, but it's interesting. Like, I don't know. Well, let me think. Yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. I wonder. That's all I'm saying. I wonder. Let me see. One of my best friends is Mexican. Actually, because I live in New York, I know people of all shapes and colors. All shapes, definitely. Americans are a bit large, if you know what I mean. But, yeah. So, South American, Mexican, kind of Spanish. What have I not gotten? No one's ever said I look black or white. But people have said I am white because I sound white, I guess. And then yes, it calls me black. So I guess I'm really called everything. You know a dodecahedron person? You don't look Nigerian. Hawaiian. Yes. Hey, why don't I look Nigerian? That's kind of a racist. Dodecahedron. Isn't that like 12? Isn't that like a shape? Dodecahedron? Isn't that a shape? Yeah, I know my shapes. Oh wait, you're not gonna see this. I got it. Well, you think I'm stupid? I am. But I know my shapes. Dode is a 12. Alright, let's go back to Pokemon. Something else I don't know anyway. He can't pronounce it, but yeah, give me some IQ points for that. Yo, Hawaiian people are. I wish I was Hawaiian. He learns Twister? What the hell? Do you guys know the song? It's called Paprika. It's called Paprika. Paprika? Like paprika, like the food. All the kids would dance this. Would dance to this in school. The only thing is, he's a physical attacker. I don't know how much I care about Twister. I mean, Twister is... It's a dragon move, which could be really useful against dragon-type Pokemon, obviously. The Pokemon here aren't randomized, though, so I would assume that we don't run into too many of them. What to take out for Twister? I mean, Sand Attack? What do you guys think? Thank you, yo. That pronunciation, though. Thank you. I know, I'm pretty good at my pronunciations. A sad monkey would be unfortunate during this. That is true. No point to put sad monkey, right? It wouldn't make sense. It's a happy moment. What do I replace for Twister, though? What do I do? Do I even put Twister? You know what? We'll take out... I don't really want to take out Sand Attack, but we're going to take out Sand Attack. Nothing else makes sense to take out there, I guess. And I think we don't have any other Sand Attack type moves. I mean, we have Poison Powder and Sleep Powder, so that should be useful. Twister, oh, it's too late. Twister has 40... It has 40 power, but it's a special type move. So it's worse, but having a dragon type move might prove to be very useful. Twister, I barely know her. Bruh. I should probably actually save my points now that VIP is attainable. I was stuck at 60k for like... Yeah, I've heard... Wait, what do you mean? I've heard that after 50k, you can't press the green box anymore. Is that true? Paparuya. Wait, what did I want to do? I'm such an idiot. What did I want to do? Oh my god, I had this plan of doing something in my head. And I completely forgot what that was. Whatever. Me at 1.4k. I want VIP too. I don't know what gives you, but I want the diamond. What does VIP do? What does it do? I think you could spam. You got a badge next to your name. It's really for the badge. I think that's pretty much it. I just kept spending points. Oh, okay. Nathan told me that after 50k, he couldn't press the green box. I don't know. I lost like 6k the other day on Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that. I just kept losing. I sucked at that. I'm a terrible player. What is this song? One of you guys put this? Oh, Yo put it. Drifter's opening. This sounds cool. I don't know this opening. What's Drifters? Yo, this looks mad cool. I'm getting chills, like anime chills. Drifters. Anime! Oh, it's on Netflix. Maybe I'll watch it. Probably not tonight, but maybe. I have so much to edit with stupid Pokemon Gaia. It was funny though. As long as you enjoyed. I don't think that's true, but I haven't paid enough attention to be sure. Okay. It could have been a glitch for him too. Let me tell you exactly what VIP does though. What does VIP do? On Twitch. The good thing is, because you have the badge next to your name, it's easier for me to recognize you guys. You know, when I become a huge streamer in a few days, I mean a few months, I mean a few years, I mean a few decades. Because then, you know, the chat will just be overflowing with chat, like people talking. And then I'll see VIP and I'm like, oh, that's, you know, Doctor. Wow, yeah. VIP immune to chat and channel moderation settings. But you can still be moderated by a channel moderator. Users are recognized by streamers as loyal members of their community. Because it's kind of like you're a loyal member, I figured it made sense to make that reward the most expensive reward, you know? Because that shows that you're loyal, you're saving your points, and I don't know. Wow! Ooh, Cat, what's up? How you doing? How is the Nuzlocking going? Oh, yeah. I didn't realize you put the wow. I don't think that's what happens. I remember Doctor mocking you. Mocking you? Yeah. He always says, that's a shame. That's a shame. Always. True, that tends to happen. A couple centuries, fair enough. I don't think I ever said centuries, did I? Gonna farm VIP? Nice. Very nice. I mean, if you guys stick around for the 24-hour stream, you could just lurk, obviously. Then you'll probably get quite a few points. I don't know how lurking works for getting points, though. But, yeah. That should be a fun stream. We haven't done a 24 stream in a couple of months. Which is, you know, a shame. But we're going to do one this month. I think we might do a Cookie Clicker stream next month. 24-hour stream. And Pokemon Legends Arceus in January. 24-hour stream. So it's going to be the months of 24-hour streams. Maybe we'll go back to Jump King one of these days, too. What's up? I forgot I spent 10k on buy. I'm old. Oh, yeah. All of you guys did. I was so happy and so surprised that you guys wanted that. Guys, anyone who's wondering what that is, read what it says for buy. I'm old for that reward. I was like, why do you guys want this? But I made it. On break, playing Wind of Change during the week and remaking my story. Oh, cool. Playing Wind of Change during the week. Remaking my story? Wind of Change? Wait, Wind of Change like the song by Scorpions? Or like, is it a game or something? That song is so good. I haven't heard that song in a couple of months probably. Oh, it's a game. That makes more sense. I might not be able to stay for the whole 24-hour stream. No worries, no worries. I was kind of hoping that the game would come out Friday, so it would go into Saturday, the stream. But it comes out on Thursday night, going into Friday. So it's kind of like not the best timing. Of course, I could just decide to stream it on Friday. But the thing is, on Saturday, I have family coming over on Saturday. And I'd rather stream it day it comes out, I guess. Wind of Change. Well, I want to look up this game. Wind of Change game. Winds of Change. Bow, bow, wow. Is it a furry game? It looks like a furry porn game. Listen, nothing wrong with that. You know? Just saying. Well, I mean, your name is Cat, so. This kimono stand in Animal Crossing is 220,000 bells. Oh, did you do the cheating for the bells? Shh. I know. Can't you, like, cheat the system for bells by, like, putting your Switch back in time or whatever? That's kind of, like, one thing that made me stop playing the game. I'm like, I hate when you could... It's like Pokemon... Not like Pokemon Go, actually. Actually, yeah. When Pokemon Go hacking became a thing, and people were going to, like, London to catch Pokemon, I was like, bruh, this game, come on, bro. Like, I don't like that, you know? I mean, who likes that? The hackers like that. People who do that like that, but... I sell turnips if I need bells. Oh, okay. Okay. So you're a real OG. Is 220,000 a lot? I don't remember. I haven't played that game since it came out. It's on Switch, so no dirty stuff. I wonder if Switch has any dirty stuff. Well, I'm kind of curious now. Let me go on browser real quick. I mean, on private browser. Yeah, never can be too careful. What's this feeling? I want to be out. I am not exciting. Let's just look up Switch dirty games. GTA. Doki Doki Literature Club? Wait, I can't remember if that's the hentai game or if that's the one where everyone dies and it's a freaking morbid. If you want horny teen games, you have Fate Extella, Gal Gun 2, Shinobi Raffle, Korra from... It's all Japanese games, it looks like. Okay. Well, obviously not porn, but ecchi, as they say in Japanese. You know, hentai doesn't mean what you guys might possibly think it means. It doesn't mean like porn. Hentai means like weirdo. Like, I remember I was with some people, and someone in the group was like, "Oh, hentai," and Japanese people are like, "What?" And he was trying to tell them like, "Oh, he watches hentai," and they were so confused. That's funny. Kind of unrelated, but I remember when the Mario Odyssey jump rope glitch came out, I was in the first like 100 people to get the maximum score. Jesus! Are you on like a leaderboard somewhere? That sounds pretty cool. I didn't even know that. Isn't the internet an amazing creation? 100%. I wouldn't know people from all over the world without it. I also wouldn't be making a living from it, which I don't. But internet is definitely amazing. But there's some side effects, like, at least in the States and probably in a lot of places worldwide, it seems like, you know, misinformation and stuff just are tearing people apart. Like, I could see this in the US being torn apart just because people are going at each other because they have different information that they rely on. Aside from that, yeah, internet's pretty awesome. Doki Literature Club is dark, so death. Oh, okay. Like, it looks like it's gonna be an ecchi, like, weird thing, and then it's just dark, right? Yeah. I remember watching it years ago, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is so weird to watch. It was so weird. I don't remember much of it, though. I wish I could consolidate the commands onto one website, but because I use 2 bots for commands, yeah. Actually, there's probably even more commands because I use more bots for other stuff. Nanimo. My brother has been in love with this song lately. He literally just randomly comes up to me and he goes, Nanimo, and he's a teenager, so his voice does that. We only have 1 death. Oh, well, that was the RNG death. I kind of wanted 10 resets because that just seems like a better number. But you know what? I'll be happy with 9 resets. You guys think level 25 is enough? And yeah, Doctor, is your leaderboard somewhere? For Mario Odyssey? I don't know how that stuff works. Oh my god, I had so much soup today with the garlic. My stomach feels like my throat wants to throw up. Does that make sense? Na 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 na. You know what's funny? You know what I just realized? I'm a freaking bad guy. Why doesn't Nurse Joy just not revive my Pokemon? And then I can't do anything. Well, I guess because it's harming the Pokemon. That would be messed up. I guess that's why. I feel like 30 would be a better safe spot. For the Pokemon. Bro, I say so much stuff, I forget what I say sometimes. 30 would definitely be a better safe spot. But remember, I'm evil, so I want my Pokemon to die. No, but I also want it to be a bit more interesting. And I honestly, honest to God, I feel like it'll take way too long to get them to level 30. A friend recommended it to me. I bought it and it looked like a simple visual novel dating game. Yeah, that's what I thought when I initially watched it. Like, gameplay of it. Was I wrong with how deadly it was? Haven't touched it in a long time. Yeah, I remember being like, Jesus Christ, what am I looking at? Doki Doki Literature Club. It looks so like, you know. After that, I was like, maybe I don't want to, you know, date women. Maybe I'll just be celibate for the rest of my life. I saw it years ago. When did it come out, the original? Doki Doki Literature Club. What? No way 2017. There's no way it came out only in 2017. Really? I thought I thought it came out years ago. What the hell? Date, man. I got you, bro. I got you. Cortez, come through to New York, and we'll make it happen. Nah, I'm not gay, unfortunately. Or fortunately, you know. However you sway. Well, not you, guys, but never mind. I'm just staring at ping pong with fearing knowing it's about to die. Yes. Killing Pokemon is my forte. How many thousands, billions of Pokemon do you think I've killed? You know what I did today? I literally woke up and I'm like, I gotta study Pokemon. And I looked up every Pokemon from the first Pokemon to like the last one in Diamond and Pearl. So I could know the types of all of those Pokemon. So I could be better prepped for when the game comes out. And Jesus Christ. Did you guys know there's a lot of Pokemon? I mean, everyone knows that. But there's so many like normal flying. Like Dodrio is a normal flying type. Like what the hell? Why? That makes no sense. And then you got Gyarados, which is a water flying. Like how is he a flying? Like I saw an explanation online, that was okay. And I saw a meme for Dodrio, it was kind of funny. How would you Nuzlocke Miltopia? Why does Miltopia sound so familiar? Miltopia? I don't know what that is. Oh. What the heck? You could use your me... Jesus Christ, your me-like characters? When did this must be an old game. I don't know. I can't give you an answer on that.
Hello
If
there.
one character dies, I restart. That probably is crazy. Hey, what's up, Nathan? How you doing? You guys heard the hello there, right? Did you guys hear it? Please tell me you heard it. They remade it to Switch? I've never even heard of it. Or I guess I've heard of it. It sounded familiar, but I never played it. There's too many. They could get rid of some and nobody would care. Kind of true. I mean, some people would care. Like, the OG Pokemon fans would. You know what's funny? Like, I look at the Pokemon community.
Monkey do good.
Let's
Monkey
go.
do
Monkey
very
do...
good.
Oh, never mind. I look at the Goodbye. Bye, Nathan? This is why we have cooldowns. Anyway,
Monkey
I look
do
at...
okay. Monkey do
How you
pretty
doing,
okay.
Nathan?
I guess.
There's like at least 20,
Wow.
kind of crazy. Normal flying. Yeah, there are a lot. Jesus Christ. What's wrong with this man? 0 points. Well, look how low I put. Look how nice of a guy I am. Look how much all those points cost for him to use. It costs like nothing. It costs like 1 hour of watch time. Maybe a little more. He's too powerful. It costs more than 50 points. 57 points. That's BS. Literally, the hydrate is more already. But... Oh... Well, let me extreme stretch. Oh, that feels good. I didn't do yoga today. I've been trying to do yoga. Damn it, what did I want to say? You ruined my thought process. Come on, Nathan. Oh, that was really stupid. Oh my god, bro, that feels so good. Wait, why did I do anything you just requested? I'm not doing anything your alts request, Nathan, because that's just cheating. You're just farming points with multiple accounts. That's cheating. From now on, I will only do things that are redeemed from your main account. He spent 580. No, he didn't. Oh, he did. Oh, stretch is kind of expensive. 440. Oh yeah, wait, no, that's like 2-3 hours of watch time. Depending on if you're subbed or not, but you know. Need to write down these numbers. Ignore. Bro, I literally do that to my friend. One of my close friends from high school, I literally message him. I don't know why I keep saying literally. I don't need to say literally. I message him like just random stuff, and I'm like, and he just knows by now. I just like reminders. But you know what? F him. You know why? Because he never talks to any of us. He's like a prince. People call him, but he doesn't call anyone back. Like, he doesn't call anyone. But we call him to say what's up. Reconnecting? Okay. This is why I convinced Ping that Yo was a different person, so I could farm points without him knowing. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't mention anything. Imagine in my head I have this like I have this like image in my head of like different people, but in reality all of you guys are just Nathan's alt. It's just creating alternate like personalities and stuff. Jesus Christ. If that ever were true and I found that out, I don't even know. My mind would be blown. I don't know what my initial reaction would be. I would probably be like, Jesus, that's impressive. How the hell? And at the same time, Jesus, what the hell? And then I would stop streaming for like a month. And then I'll come back like, just, I don't even know. We are Nathan. No. No, it's all a lie. My life's a lie. That's why he's saying lagging reconnecting. Because it takes a lot of bandwidth and power and, I don't know, computer terms to, like, run all these different accounts. Jesus Christ, Nathan, you're crazy. Let's think logically. Would anyone else choose? Damn. Aww. That's, I have nothing to say to that. You got me. Oh, Nathan says me. God damn it, Nathan. I mean, Prince says me. Oh my god. Honestly, though, that's so true. I don't know why people watch me. But you know what I did realize? People usually watch me, and then they stop watching me after a while. And they come up with excuses like, oh, I'm busy, I have school, you know, I'm working, trying to feed my family, I don't have time to watch it. Like, come on. You can make time. Just kidding. Damn, that's alt 422? Where's all the other alts? I wish we had freaking 422 viewers. I wish and also don't wish at the same time. It would be harder to communicate with everyone. Unless, like, 400 of them are just... don't talk. You know what? This is my dream. 1,000 viewers, but only 10 chatters. But all the viewers are tier 3 subs. And yeah, that's it. Just kidding, just kidding. That's not enough. We need more. More! Why do I know this song? I don't know. It's a famous song. Forgot what it's called though. Alt Nathan 69.x is currently not responding. Yeah, where's 69 and 420? Those are probably the best ones. Hi, Doctor here. I want to say something, but I'm not gonna say it because some of you. Imagine one of you guys actually changes. Imagine you all like talk on Discord, make your own group, and like all change your name to like Dr. Gur, but you all add like an additional R, and I have to figure out who's who, or something like that. That would be annoyingly frustrating, and cool at the same time. I requested a remix of the song. Ah, you're mad that it wasn't the original. That sounds eerily familiar. Shit on that. Your 420th follower happened recently. I know. So I saw that we were ahead of 420 at like 422. I think there's a website to see who the 420th follower was. Let me see. Website to see Twitch followers. Or you could just ask 4 people to not follow, and then it's all Gucci. Okay, here it is. Jesus, I already found a website. It tells me what date. Yo, Misha, that's one of my friends IRL. He followed me in 2016. Alright, so we have 424. So this is number 424, 23, 22, 21. Charlie Green is number 420. This guy followed yesterday or the day before, but didn't say anything in chat, I remember. When people do that, I don't know if they're bots or just lurkers, and if they're lurkers, I really appreciate you and thank you, and you know, I'm not complaining. And if you're bots, then it is what it is. 1,000 viewers, tier 3 sub, 10 people talking, 990 lurkers. That's the dream, baby. That's the dream. Because 1,000 viewers, tier 3 subs, that's like 10k a month? More than 10k. Probably after taxes, less than 10k, but like... Hey, Josh!
Hello there.
Look at me, I'm Avatar. Arigato gozaimasu, bro. Oh no, it didn't change into Avatar. Damn it. Thank you for the sub, bro. Yeah, man. How's life? Thank you for the sub. Jesus, 8 months? What number are you? I don't know. Check the website. If so, then I would want for YouTube to check my 69th and 420th sub. Lol. Yo, what's up? Long time no see. I gotta play on guitar. We talked recently on Discord about Call of Duty, but how's the life?
Hello there.
See, you guys heard that. Thank you for the sub, Josh. Thank you for the sub. Avatar State, baby. I probably should have added some. Maybe I add some animations for. Animations. for avatar state. That's a land in my and voice. So when someone subs, like it's like even crazier. Like, oh, that sounds cool. I don't know when that'll come, but that'll come eventually. Find us. That filter makes you bald. It does. It makes me avatar. Life is good. Life is good here too. Hey, you won points. You won in the jump game. Nice. I missed you, man. I miss playing Call of Duty a bit too, but it's so toxic, bro. Toxic masculinity. I mean, it's so like it's fun. I looked at gameplay for the new game, and honestly, it doesn't look that good. I might end up getting it anyway during Black Friday, like I was saying before, but yeah, I don't know. It's crashing. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Oh, fine. Let's look at your guys' stuff. You guys are such losers. Just kidding. All right, let's look. Where are you guys? Let's look. Doctor. You are... I don't know what number you are, bro, but you're here. Account created 2016. Followed June 12th. Ooh, at 5:58 p.m. That's kind of cool. Well, let's look up Josh. Dark Italian. Followed February. Jesus, it's been almost a year? Jesus Christ. And Diego February. Well, this is Diego's alt account. And Diego also was on YouTube. Diego's original account, February 9th. Jesus. Oh, February 9th was when I moved to Twitch, that's why. Who else we got? Prince, you're here. You're 423.22. 422. Ah, so close to 420. Oh, it shows you the averages. Days with the most followers. That's kind of cool. And yeah. I'm not going to look up more. Oh, I'll look up Cortez. Because he said wow in chat. June 29th. I think you unfollowed and then followed me at a certain time when we were playing Breath of the Wild. I don't know why, but I was pretty sad there because we were talking quite a bit, and then you just stopped coming to the stream for a while.
Monkey do good. Monkey do very good.
And I missed you, bro. I was so close, you were close. It's wait in the queue. Is your internet working now? Basically now, Josh, we're a Pokemon Nuzlocke streamer. I'm a Pokemon Nuzlocke streamer, but I also sometimes what's it called? Play community games and like Mario Kart and like Call of Dudes. Call of Dudes hasn't been in a while though, and some like other games too. Has 1-5. You mean Doctor? Oh yes, Doctor. I meant Doctor. Yo, guys, don't I look better like this? Should I actually go bald? I kind of want to go bald. I legit was going to go bald. If one of my YouTube videos back in the day, like a few months ago, would have hit like 100 likes, I would have gone bald. But it didn't, haha. Don't go bald? Why? I could go into the avatar state. I dyed my hair. Red and blue. Maybe I put that video back up on YouTube soon. It's privatized now, but... And that was pretty cool. It only lasted like 2 months though. My hair grows so fast that I ended up just cutting my hair. Like so faster. You dyed yours too? Hey! What'd you dye it? Chicago teen sleeps with all 5 of his bullies' moms to assert dominance. The bigger question is how did the moms... Why did the moms... This is not true, right? Bro, I swear, this generation, we're gonna get our news... Wrong button. We're gonna get... No one wants to see my face that up close. We're gonna get our news from TikTok. We're gonna be so informed. We're gonna be like, oh my god, the president just did this crazy dance on TikTok. It's crazy. Ba-da-da-da. The roast tries to tell him consistently that it's my ult, so he thinks it's a joke, but little does he know. Or we say it so much that sometimes I'll just call you doctor by accident. I was supposed to get a haircut tomorrow, but my barber texted and said he was sick and might have COVID. Tell your barber that you don't freaking care. You need your hair cutted, okay? You need to look sharp for all those women out there. I love this song. Or, you know, hopefully your barber's okay and you get a haircut later. I had cyan, pink, blonde, and red. All together? Oh, do you dye your hair a lot, or? Now you have gray? Damn, you got old, didn't you? I thought you were 24, but to be honest, I have gray hair now, too. I hate TikTok all you want, but some of us are getting $100 from the lawsuit, so I call that a win. Wait, are you serious? Did you get $100 from the lawsuit? Bro, that's like how much I make on Twitch in like a year. No, I was just joking, but Take Me Out is goated. Yo, right? It's such a good song. I added it to my backup playlist. You could put some music on as well if you'd like, Josh. Oh, a shiny Oddish? Oh my god. Bruh. It looks so stupid. But we can't catch it. We kill you because we're evil. And also we can't catch anything. Minimize is actually so good. I'm gonna take out Double Slap because it only has 85% accuracy. Pog, now kill it. Exactly. Let's get some IQ plus for that killing. Say no. Or men. Yeah, I assumed women. Because for some reason. Do you swing both ways, Cortez? Ugly as... Why is it all green, right? It looks like one of my vegetables. The only difference is I would actually eat Oddish. I wouldn't eat my broccoli. Anyone who had an account before October can submit a claim. Jesus. Sheesh. Maybe I'll submit a claim then. No. Josh, what games have you been playing? Have you been, like, vanguarding a lot? If you don't mind me asking. 92 million is not as much as I would expect for $100. I have an account before October. Wait, let me put a reminder. Submit, claim, TikTok. What is this lawsuit over? You just like, man? Oh, okay. Nothing wrong with that, bro. Mostly, and I don't know if you're trolling or not, but if you're not, that's fine too. Mostly COD, I'm prestiged and everything probably almost a day in game time. Oh, damn. But how many prestiges are there in Vanguard? No. Snipers are ass? No. That is unfortunate. What the hell? But at least I feel like I could beat you with snipers in that game. Because in Cold War, you got better than me. I remember. But I feel like in Vanguard, you would just rage so much because of how shit they are that that rage would contribute to you doing worse, and then I would do better than you. I think he's playing the new one a lot now, Cortez. They used people's info without permission and got sued. Ah, good. They should use people's info without... No, I'm joking. You know what's crazy? How many companies have so much info on us because we just click the accept button for the terms and rules and whatever. Like, that's probably an insane amount of companies, right? Game is just very fast-paced, so it's hard to get a shot off. That makes sense. I remember this song. You're right about my rage, I know. You would rage less on stream. Or you would mute yourself and rage. But yeah, it would be, yeah. Game is just very fast-paced, so it's hard to get a shot off. Ah, okay. But is it still... I don't know why I read that twice. Is it still easy to, like, zoom in and stuff? They know our secrets. They do, right? like how many companies like. It's so interesting because I remember my dad telling me like when I was younger like not to put my face on the internet. and like and he's a bit paranoid about like and for good reason I guess about like internet safety and security, and he knows more about it than I do by a long shot because he works in that like with computers for many years already. But it's like I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's interesting because, like, you can't really escape a lot that's on the internet now. I think ads. That's how long it's been. I read it as ads. It's faster with the right attachments. Oh, that's awesome. But there's 70 weapon levels. Ah, that's annoying. Plus, if you prestige, it's probably even more annoying. ADS is faster than Cold War? Jesus. I'm surprised because it seemed like they were giving snipers... They were trying to nerf snipers for a while. So, that's kind of interesting. But I guess if shoot to kill is faster, then it balances out in a way. That's actually exciting. I want to snipe then. I saw the pros cons of the attachments. They should just go back to how it was in the old games. I mean, I just wonder if there's easily accessible information about like 3 billion people. It's pretty unlikely that yours matters. Yeah, that's what, like... honestly, that's how I see it too. I'm just like... What are they gonna see? That I want to buy, like, a vibrator? Like, for myself? Like, okay. What are you gonna do with that information? By the way, I wasn't buying a vibrator. For myself. But, like, what, like, why do I care about that, you know? The only thing that would come out of that is that they send me more ads for vibrators. Like... Which can be argued to be like, you know, predatory advertising. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my butt, but you know. They're going to sell you the best vibrators. Exactly. Like, I just get the best vibrators I want. So, like, I thought we're having 2 different conversations here. They're going to see the 10 body pillows on someone's wish list. Yeah. But, like, to be honest, even when I private browse and I go on Pornhub, I'm not even joking, guys. Sometimes, okay, this is gonna be a bit personal, but if I'm watching something a bit weird, you know, like something that like, you know, it's a bit weird. Like when you watch elephants go at it. No, I'm just joking. Not elephants. I haven't watched that in years. But if you watch something weird, do you guys ever like? Sometimes I like close my camera where my camera is, like both directions. I'll be watching like this, you know. So like if it ever gets leaked, I'll be like, oh no, I was so disgusted by it, and I clicked off the video. You know, they won't have video proof. But not only that, sometimes at the end when I'm done, I'll make a disgusted face, like, oh my god, that's disgusting. You know? Which sometimes it is kind of disgusting. Maybe saying this out loud kind of just ruins everything that I set up. Never mind, I'm gonna stop talking. What are they gonna do? See if I want to buy a vibrator for myself? I'm doctor, by the way. I gotta stop reading backwards. 4K, 8K. Got an 8K. Hey, my IQ went up though, so that's a good thing. What's the weirdest porn you guys ever watched? If you're 18 or older, you can answer. If you're younger, then just pretend that you are 18 or old. No, that's not. It's not a good thing to say. Just don't answer. Yeah. Anyway. So in this game, for anyone wondering, you could steal Pokemon from old people and children. Today's not my day. I just watched normal porn. Oh. Yeah, me too. Pumpkin one was just funny, but that's not the weirdest. Pumpkin porn? Well, I mean, during Halloween, that makes sense. Some people I talk to, they're like, hentai is so weird. And I'm like, bro, have you checked it out? And they're like, it's just pixelated characters. And I'm like, bro, when you watch porn, it's pixelated too. What are you talking about? But they're like, at least it's real people. And I'm like, bro, they put makeup on. It's as real as, like, my left hand, Like, it's as real as, I don't know. It's as real as my personality when I'm streaming. I was just joking. I feel like I'm pretty authentic. Just lurk for the duration of the cough stuff. Cough. Is normal porn straight porn or lesbian porn for straight people? If you're a guy and you're straight, then regular porn and lesbian porn would be my guess. And then I don't know. Everything is normal, okay? Okay, I'll give you guys the politically correct answer. Everything that's legal is normal porn. I mean, I could probably agree to that. Wait, actually, no. There's some crazy stuff that's probably legal. That's pretty crazy. Everything that's illegal is not normal. Let's go with that. Except animals. Animals are cool. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. You know, how is animal porn banned when people are animals? That makes no sense. I don't watch lesbian stuff. It's kind of weird for me. I think that just means you're not comfortable with your masculinity. No, I'm just joking. If you're straight and watch gay, it's not normal. Yeah. You guys want to hear a story? You know, it's moments like this where I just wish that my parents are not on stream. But once, especially for what I'm about to say, my mommy, daddy, if you're watching, oh, that sounds so weird saying mommy and daddy. Family, if you're watching, please mute the stream and don't have subtitles on. So once I was in the living room with my friends used to come over and sleep over from time to time. And they were, one of them decided to put on gay porn to test everyone on the big screen. To test everyone's, you know, straightness. Let's just say one of my friends failed. And yeah, that's about it, actually. That's the whole story. At least he said he failed. I don't know if he actually failed. Which is fine, you know? It's fine to be gay. But, you know, when you're on an air mattress, 5 guys, 1 air mattress. It's, I don't know. Nothing happened, but, you know. Anyway, yeah, how is animal porn banned when people are animals? Exactly. Bro, like, people don't talk about the important issues. Instead, everyone's talking about, like, vaccine mandates and like corona and like Trump stole the election, or like Biden is the best president. Like, come on, let's get to the real topics here, right? I really don't get it. Why people don't talk. One of my friends failed. Song slows down. Wait, did the song actually slow down at that point? I didn't pay attention. It's not even morning, bro. Good morning. Look, I'm singing. Do you guys get it? Sing. The move sing. Alright, you guys could unfollow now. No one has said Biden is the best. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm sure some people say that, okay? I'm just saying, okay? I'm trying to be unbiased politically, so I'm just saying, like, what, you know, 2 sides of a thing would say, okay? Okay. Get it? Because sing. Yes, that's the point. What do you guys think when like, streamers, and maybe some of you guys do this, because some of you guys have streamed before. So I'm not sure if anyone here has streamed, like, regularly. But anyway, when you go, like, when a streamer, like, says in their bio or, like, in their chat, like, no politics, no religions talk. What do you guys think of that? I'm just, like, curious. Like, what do people think of that? IQ plus, let's go! I'm almost neutral. A few more years and we'll get there. It's so funny because I could reset the IQ thing and I just leave it because I'm such a good person, such a good streamer. Guys, I gotta pee. Should I keep it in my... Should I keep it? Like, should I not pee? Good morning. Or should I like possibly like ruin my health? And I think they want to prevent problems in the chat. No, that's probably why, yeah. Why am I saying no? I literally asked you guys what do you think. Yeah, that's probably, yeah, one of the reasons I think. I agree with that. I think it's okay not to talk about it, but I don't really care if people do talk about it. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't care either. I just find it interesting that, like, that a lot of streamers do that. Because it kind of shows how, like, passionate people are for politics and religion. It's just interesting to me. I'm barely on Twitch. Like, yesterday was probably the longest I've been on Twitch. But when I see those rules, I guess it's understandable just to keep the peace for the most part in chat. Yeah. Right? Yeah. We do a little trolling. Wait, who does a little trolling? Wake up. Oh, we do a little trolling here? Yeah. I honestly don't mind. The only thing, like, certain... like, I don't really mind. Just certain things, and I say them when I see it. Jesus Christ, Wake Up Slap has 70 power? Certain things makes it harder to like if I let people say certain things in chat, then that would invite other people to say it and new people to say it, and I don't want to build community like around that type of stuff. And that's probably how other streamers think too. Also, go use the... Yes, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I'll be right back. I hope you enjoyed the pee-pee screen. I am struggling. Oh my god, I feel so much better, bro. Jesus Christ. I feel so much better. Oh. I was struggling to hold it in. Look, Mom, I'm you. Yeah. So guys, if you have any ideas of where to put those stream avatars, like those characters on this screen, let me know. Because I tried to fit it in somewhere, but I don't know where I could put it, really. You know? Okay. Does double damage to a sleeping foe. Bro, how insane is that? You use Sing and then you do 140 damage with Wake Up Slap. Obviously, you have to hit Sync. Sync only has 55% accuracy. Honestly, Sync kind of sucks. So I think we're just going to take out Sync. This might sound dumb, but I think it's just smarter. Anyway. Great 2 water Pokemon. One is normal, the other is water. What? What is that? I don't know though. Great. 2 water Pokemon. One is normal, the other is water. That's probably something I said, and then someone quoted it. I'm so excited for Spider-Man. Oh, Diego was getting crazy for Spider-Man too, actually. I haven't watched the second one. I have to watch the second one. For when you come back, is there any way for you to change what character Pokemon we are when you change the screen like that? Yes! I think I'm gonna make a command, because people ask this quite a bit. Stream avatar explanation. I don't really know how to explain it, to be honest. There should be an SA button somewhere where you could spend coins to do different things, like change your character and stuff. The new trailer was dope. Want to watch the trailer since someone said it came out. Diego said, yeah. I just watched Shang-Chi. I just watched Shang-Chi too. I really liked it too. I thought it was a great movie. What did I watch? I watched the DC movie recently as well. And Jesus Christ, DC does not know how to make good movies. I swear, Marvel like always pumps out good movies. Can you turn on Wailords for stream avatars? I couldn't look into that. I don't think I can add any more Pokemon, unfortunately. I think Wailord... I guess Wailord's not there. But I'll look into it for sure. Can I make a request if you can? Wait, why not show trailer here or on Saturday? I think you said you do reactions. Yes, Saturday for reactions. Why not show trailer here? I mean, I haven't seen... You could... So, if you want to send videos... By the way, Josh, we react to videos every Saturday night. So, anyone can send videos and we'll react to those videos. And then on stream, after we finish those videos, we react to, like, additional videos, like, live. That's actually quite... It's been really fun to do that. So you could send any requests there. But I haven't seen the second one, so I'd have to watch the second one beforehand, which... I'll put a reminder to watch the second Spider-Man. I don't know if I'll watch it, but... choreography on the fights for Shang-Chi was very interesting. I agree. I thought it was, like, a bit slow at parts, but it was, it was a decent... Oh, Suicide Squad 2. That's what I was thinking of. That movie was so weird. Some parts of it were really unique and interesting, but overall, it was, like, not really a good movie, in my opinion. This thing, or at least it was. I've seen clips of it in The Funniest Thing because they cover, like, 1/8 of the screen. Yeah, so okay, so I thought of it covering, like, almost no part of the screen. Right? Alright, look. Shit, he faded. So I don't know if you guys could see it. Oh no, you can't see it. What are these words? But they're supposed to be like where the chat is. Oh, here, like this. But that seems kind of dumb, you know? You know, I don't know where to put them on the screen. So, that's why it's off. What is this? What is this? This ain't no song. I'm just gonna fast forward to when the song starts. Sorry. There we go. I got yo, Suicide Squad 2. It was blah. It was blah. It was weird. Like, parts of it were really good. This is my personal take, and parts of it were like, eh. After that, and after watching Shang-Chi after that, I was like, damn. Now this is a movie. But yeah. You know what movie I just watched today with my family? How would you know? You're not my family. What did I watch? What did I watch? It was with Samuel L. Jackson and and a white guy. Wait. Oh, and Ryan Reynolds. The Hitman 2. The Hitman 2 or something. Pretty good, pretty fun. Not good. It's such a dumb movie. Like one of those dumb funny movies. I would suggest it if you guys want to watch dumb funny movies. The first one and the second one. Boo, boo, boo. I gotta edit faster though. Jesus, I wanna get Pokemon Gaia out before the Brilliant Diamond and Pearl stream. A white guy, Ryan Reynolds, accurate. Yeah, I could have said a black guy if I forgot Samuel L. Jackson. Then I would say a black guy, Samuel L. Jackson. But you know, nowadays, I don't know how that would be taken. The Other Guys is a good, funny, dumb movie. Hey, I'm talking about my good, dumb, funny movie. Why you gotta talk about your... Nah, I'm just joking. The Other Guys. By the way, that just reminded me of The Other Side. I love that song. Thank you for showing it to me by Red Hot Chili Peppers. I have it in my backup playlist now. This song sounds good. Cool. Ooh, I wanted to see this movie, but I was busy when my family went out to watch it. Or not went out, but watched it on watched it. English, hard language. Yo is like, I know. I think I might end up watching that one as well then. So actually, Ryan Reynolds and whoever was in that movie, Will Ferrell, they both went on Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Neutron, the other guy. Not Neutron, Jimmy, the one that goes to every joke. I forgot his name. The other Jimmy. Jimmy Fallon. Fallon, yeah. AIQ plus. It is. Yeah, English is hard. Japanese, easy language. True. Nah, Japanese is mad hard. But yeah, Fallon, and they basically switched. They went to each other's interviews. It was kind of funny. It was trending on YouTube. I think it was because they were too lazy. Because one lives in New York, one lives in LA, or at least they were there. I don't know if they live there. I think that's what it was. So they were like, "Oh, your interview is in New York. Your interview is in LA. Let's just do it." So we don't need to go on an airplane for this. I'm in the middle of Code Geass now. Hell yeah! Oh, I forgot. Oh my god! Did you ever finish? Did you ever end up finishing Shippuden? I forgot you got into anime recently. That's like a few months ago. Anime. How you liking Code Geass? You know that girl that eats Pizza Hut? You know the girl that is always eating Pizza Hut? She's the reason why I didn't show that show to my parents. She just ruins I'm trying to show them a cool show, and Jesus, every 5 seconds you see this girl. Here, let me show you guys for those that don't know. Eating Pizza Hut in the most lewd fashion, and she looks like she's 10 years old or something. Code Geass girl Pizza Hut. Look at this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at that. Come on, bro. You can't... What is this quality? You can't be showing... Come on. You think... Jesus, that guy looks so weird. Look at that. Wait. Look at that. You think my mom wants to see that? She does. But not in front of me and my dad. Yes, sir. Code Geass. Oh, you finished Shippuden? Wait, did you get to Baruto? Most people don't watch Baruto. What'd you think of Shippuden? Who's your favorite character now? Has it changed? Code Geass is really good. You don't like... Oh, I love Code Geass. I'm just saying it's hard to show... I don't know what C2 is. Season 2? I don't know how to show it to my parents. My parents are I don't know. I feel like it would be weird to show it to them, rather. Certain anime tropes are too much, I guess. It's not even that much in Code Geass. But I love Code Geass. I binge watched that show years ago. So much so that I already forgot. I didn't even understand it completely. Because I'm dumb. So it's a combination of being dumb and binge watching. So I have to rewatch that show one day. Anime, 300-year-old woman. Yo, I know! That's the thing. They can't do that, bro. Not in America. They could do that in Japan. Because Japanese people are crazy. Japanese people live in the 80s in a lot of ways, culture-wise. And in other ways. Not all of their culture, but... they listen to 80s music. They've been... Because of globalization, it's a bit different now, but older generation is, I think, more like that. I guess they're older, so... That also is a reason. But yeah, Code Geass is great. Nah, but I want to see that. I started Naruto, but it was kind of boring. Naruto's still my favorite. Let's go. Hell yeah. What's your... Oh, Naruto's your favorite character. Wait, I thought you were saying Rock Lee or someone else was your favorite character. Is Naruto your favorite character? I will say Baruto gets good, much later on. There's, one really good arc early on, in my opinion. And then there's, a couple, And then right now it's really good. Although I haven't watched anime in like 3 weeks to a month, because I feel guilty that I'm watching too much YouTube and not working on like YouTube enough, like editing videos or like doing Uber Eats. So instead I just watch YouTube, which is not fixing the problem. Shikamaru is tied? That's right, Shikamaru. Shikamaru is cool. My favorite will always be Kakashi! Wait, I think I have a thing for Kakashi. Because I'm such a loser. Ha! Look at that. Kakashi! Guys, am I cool now? Oh. No one wants to see that one. Anyway, 1,000 Years of Dead, yes. Sennen something. I do that to my brother all the time. Because I like putting my... Anyway, Fairy's almost level 25. Jesus, Fairy actually sucks ass. This Pokemon's one of the most... Like, how much XP do you need? Like, it's so slow. The good thing about training her second is that we don't need to... I can't wait until she dies. We don't need to... Because I think Prince is going to level up quickly and B. Like, the good thing is we won't get too irritated with the next two Pokemon, I think. Cringe? I know it was cringe, I'm sorry. I swear to God, I'm not this cringe in IRL. Do you recognize the song? It's an opening from Naruto! I feel like I'm funnier in person, but I'm also, you know, slightly more, like, I don't know, politically incorrect. And like Twitch, I don't know if that matters for Twitch. Because I'll make jokes, right? And like, if I make jokes I've said this before on stream, but if I make jokes in person and I'm talking to someone, I could see how they react and kind of like, you know, react to their reaction. So if I say something really messed up, but I feel like it's funny, but they react like, what the hell? Then I'm like, okay, I can't make those types of jokes in front of this person. But like, I can't see your guys' reactions. Part of me is like, maybe I shouldn't care. I should just say whatever I want. It's not like I'm screaming the N-word all the time. That's not what it is, but... Anyway. I don't have to work tomorrow. Let's go. Let's go. Why don't you have to work tomorrow? Yo, let's go. Congrats. Anyway. Don't you have a Moonstone? Yeah, so the only reason I'm not using the Moonstone is because Fairy learns moves when it levels up. So I'm hoping that she learns moves before getting the Moonstone. That's another reason why I can't wait to move in. Well, if this happens, into like a streamer house with other streamers, because I feel like I'm better with face-to-face interaction, like with my comedy, And I'm not, because right now I'm literally talking to a camera. I mean, obviously to you guys, but you know, to a camera. So it's harder to... You need to see human reactions to react, you know? Like, if someone makes a face like, you know, to something you say, you could be like, bro, and then make a remark on their face. I don't know. It's hard to explain things. But that... You bring up a good point. Let me look up... Before reading more chat, let me look up... I don't know the words. Let's look up what Clefairy learns. So it learns nothing useful now. It actually learns nothing until level 33. Well, it learns Metronome at level 29 and Cosmic Power at 33. Cosmic Power raises defense and special defense by 1 stage. Honestly, it might just be worth evolving her now. Should we do it? My reaction. You see, if I saw that reaction, I'd just slap you in the face, bro. No. But seriously, you know, like, I feel like that's an emoji reaction. I don't know, your facial reaction, you know? Ugh. The less I know, the better. Oh, I thought you were just saying in general, the less you know, the better. Your sense of humor is solid. Keep being you, my guy. Aw, that's so sweet, bro. Aww. I feel like it's decent, but with people around, it's decenter. Like right now, I was an English teacher. Like right now, it's pretty like I don't want to be humble. I mean, I want to be humble, you know. But when you say that, you're not humble, so it doesn't matter anymore. Like I feel like, you know, I'm pretty authentic and stuff. But when there's someone else next to you, it's like you could talk more like to a person. I don't know. Speaking of streamers, did you check out Wapay? Oh no, I haven't yet. Let me put a reminder to check that out. Actually, I forgot. I had it on my tab to remind me. But sometimes when I have stuff on tabs to remind me, I just close out the tab after the stream because I'm just like, I want to go eat. I'm hungry. Decenter? I thought you said dissenter. No, come on, Cortez. English. You should know it by now. That would be so messed up. If you didn't know English. And I said that. I have a witty sense of humor, so I kind of need reaction. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Clefable doesn't learn Jack in Fire Red. Yeah, that's why we're just gonna evolve it right now. Clefairy, be a little more useful now, please. You're a loser, and you're gonna die one day. And we're evil, so I hope you die soon. But actually be useful to the team first. So... I haven't heard this song in a while. Am I an idiot? No wonder it was taking so long to level her up. She's level 29. I accidentally leveled her up to level 29. What the hell? Wait. And the game gave me Wake Up Slap. She doesn't learn Wake Up Slap in Fire Red. What gen are they taking this from? You're taking it from Diamond Pearl? So she... Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. No wonder it took her so long to level up. I am actually a dumbass. You know what's the saddest part? She still doesn't have 100 life. Oh, well, I mean, that's, I guess, fine. Dissenter in that context isn't a word, though. Oh. Bro, decenter. Oh my god, Cortez, that was the joke. You see, that's what I mean. Sometimes my sarcasm doesn't go through. So if I say something, like, messed up, you guys might not realize it's sarcasm, and then you guys might think I'm, like, a messed up person, where I'm just making jokes, you know? But if there's another person here, I could see their reaction. And if they think I'm not being sarcastic and they think I'm like being serious, like I could correct that, like, you know, unless Cortez won 10,000 IQ and knew that I was being sarcastic and tried to make it seem like that I was, you know, whatever. Be useful, die later. You don't have time to die. True. I'll make people like the guys in this TikTok. I don't like guys. I'm sorry. Nice try, you dingus. I just searched. I think it's from Gen 6. Wait, really? Oh, that makes so much sense. That actually makes sense. I don't mind missing out on those moves. I mean, would have to evolve her eventually, right? I'm such an idiot. Guys, I had Clefable here instead of Clefairy on my team. I forgot to switch it out, like, in the beginning. But I guess now it doesn't matter. Look at it. Don't tell me what to do with my life. Yeah, I'll look at it. Fine. Yo, why do half of the TikToks just have random copyrighted music? Come on. I'm a streamer. Guys, if you don't know this anime, it's called Overcooked. Check it out if you're 18 or older. Because otherwise, I don't know if I could say check it out. Fleetwood Mac, ayy. Best anime, changed my mind. Bow, bow. Oh, we listened to the song recently, right? There was anime in that TikTok. Yeah, on the bottom. There was some weird guys walking towards the girls. Look up over. Did I say Overcooked? Isn't that a game? I did not say Overcooked, did I? It's called Overflow. Overflow. They can watch it when they're a teenager. I don't know. Is I did not mean to use sleepwater. Is there an age that porn is legal or illegal or whatever? I don't even know. Replaying song, never mind. Yeah, it sounds different. It's Spanish, so can you skip it? I don't want to hear any Spanish. I live in America. What the hell? You see, I would say stupid jokes like that. But I'm just joking, guys. I'm joking. But you know, like, I don't know, you know? It's easier to do that with people because then you could see their reaction and it could be like more obvious that it's a joke. But when I say it like with a straight face, I'm such a good jokester that like people might believe me. So square up, punk. Nah, you work out. I don't want to mess with you, yo. I was joking. I'm sorry. Gomenasai. Gomenasai. We will not be doing community games today, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. But, and that's but with 2 T's. Yeah, we're just not gonna do it today, most likely. Because we have to beat red. I'm excited. I want to actually play the Nuzlocke more. For anyone confused, we're training all our guys up like to crazy levels because otherwise they're all gonna die and we have to reset. And we're bad guys in this Pokemon game, which is fun. But yeah. Overcooked is a bomb game. Isn't Overcooked the one where you cook? What? I think it's illegal for minors to get porn from others, show porn, but not to view. Wait, is that true? Oh, so then, yeah, check out. And that's if you're younger than 18, right? That's a minor. Minor is younger than 18. I don't know. Listen, the only girl that I've done sexy times with was older than me, and I was 10 years old, so I don't need to worry about that stuff. VIP is only 100k. Yes. So I lowered. Ooh, I wonder how many points you have actually. I lowered VIP. See, I knew it. Yeah, I lowered VIP and I lowered God Monkey because people were complaining. God Monkey has 3 months immunity, so that's why it's not in the rewards right now. But yeah, bomb as in good. Oh, I thought you meant it's a bomb game, like the bomb game. Maybe that's why Cortez said, "Are you doing community games?" You got reminded of it. PP. Wait, what? What did I say? Overcooked is a restaurant game. Yeah. Whoa, what did I say that was wrong? You know how much more free I would be if I didn't live at home? Because the difference now is I could say all this weird stuff, and if I go upstairs and my family watched it, I have to deal with that awkwardness, right? But if I live somewhere else, I don't need to deal with that awkwardness right away. I could deal with it like, you know, whenever I see my parents, like maybe once a week or whatever. And they're not gonna bring that up, so you know, nothing intelligible. Cortez, it's not your first time watching me. Come on. You know that's how I am. Yeah, I played Overcooked with a friend. It's actually a fun. I feel like Overcooked would be a really fun game to stream actually. If there was like another streamer to play with, or like a friend that like is a streamer, like they know how the streaming life is, how like it's the hardest life in the world. Like it's harder than being a mother, a father, going to the army, all of that combined. Especially going to the army and especially being a mother. See, jokes. These are jokes, guys. See, I would say more stuff like that, but you know. Jokes are, you know. In Argentina, you drink alcohol younger than you see porn. My brother drank alcohol when he was like 3 years old. He had beer. My dog had alcohol when he was a kid too. He's an old man now. He doesn't drink. So I guess that's the same here. Well, I mean that's just because I have a crazy family. They didn't really feed much alcohol. It was like a tiny sip. My uncle was crazy. He was giving my brother. My brother's literally like 3 years old, giving him beer. And my brother liked it and he kept drinking it. And he was like sipping more. And my mom's like, "Stop, what are you doing?" And he was laughing. He's such a chill guy. He's younger than my dad, but he doesn't have gray hair. And my dad's 87. If you check out WPE, check out their Overcooked video. 20 to 25 minutes? Are you kidding me? That's like so much time. I'm just joking. Yeah, okay. I'll think of doing that.
Hello?
Somebody that I used to know. What's up, Sai? What's up, guys? It's Mr. Sai saying, yo. Oh, see, I pressed the button, but I didn't need to because it pressed it for me. Jesus Christ, I got so used to it. If you check out, I think that it makes more sense if drinking age and military eligibility age are switched. I think most Americans are like, this makes no sense. You could drive when you're like 16, 17, 18, depending on the state, I think. You could go into the military at 18, but you drink at 21, but then like everything's all over the place, you know? Mother, gamer, streamer, jump kinger, Jing? I'm so confused with that. What does that mean? Yo, nice vibes. Sai goes, yo! And then yo goes, yo. And yo is yo. That's funny. Mother, gamer, streamer, jump kinger, Jing. Oh, you're saying mother, it's like good to be a mother. Like it's easy job. Gamer, it's harder. Streamer, it's really hard. Jump kinger is like one of the hardest. I don't know what Jinga means. Overcooked 2, and my bad, only like 10 to 15. Oh, okay. I was joking. 20 minutes is fine. Yo and yo goes yo, and yo is yo. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Okay, so yo said yo to your yo. That's pretty much it. How you doing, though, Sai? By the way, yo. Should I call you something else? Or... I know I've asked you this before, but like, yo. You know? It's like, yo. I feel like, I don't know. It's like if I just say yo sometimes, you might... You know, it's kind of confusing. Call me Yi-Yo. Oh my god, that's so many syllables. That's so much mouth movement. Yi-Yo. Yi. Like, my mouth doesn't do that naturally. How about yo-yo? Okay, Yi-Yo. I'll go with Yi-Yo. That makes more sense. In my state, you can have... your state? What, you own the state now? You can have full license... I'm such an idiot. I have to stop talking sometimes. Within like 2 weeks of turning 15. Jesus. You're joking. Are you serious? Bro, my brother's 15 and he makes like balls jokes, like stupid Nah, that's crazy. Sai is fine. I don't Sai, not everything's about you. Oh my god. I was just asking how you are, not what I should call you. Jesus. That was a joke. I was joking. In Argentina, you pronounce it shisho. Oh, like teacher in Japanese. Shisho. Oh, that's so cool. Shisho. Sense. Shisho. Shisho. Shisho's. Shisho. No one really calls teachers shisho, though. What is shisho? Shisho's more like expert or something else. I don't remember. Shisho. Yo, are you confused, bro? If you're a chick, then my bad. I'm not a chick. But it's okay, Prince. I appreciate you not assuming my gender. I think, right? Yeah. Why don't you try to say somebody that I used to know? Is this a message? What's the point of this? Sasuke, Inosuke. That's so stupid. Manga, anime, Luffy adaptation. No, anime makes... Bro, Jesus Christ. Did you guys see this? Alright, spoiler alert. If you've never watched One Piece, okay? It's not really a spoiler, but... No. Jesus, what do people buy? Okay. One Piece... Animation change. Look how One Piece looked normally and how they changed her, okay? I gotta stop looking up these things, okay? Alright, you know what? I don't even know how to show this. Someone made a video on this for sure. This is her in the beginning of the show, okay? She's really skinny, you know? Looks like a whammon, you know? Okay. Now look at her. Wait, I can't. I need to stick to my golden rule of not looking up anime. Jesus Christ. Spoilers galore. Like, oh my god. My point is, she grew some stuff, but to an insane... Like, it made no... It looks so dumb. Like, Jesus Christ. Oda is horny. The author of it. Hey, PP, guess what? Chicken butt? What? Not you? Yeah, I know. Me who's never watched One Piece yet understands the plot. I never really understood One Piece. I watched like 1999 to 2000 animes. I mean, One Piece is started in 2000, no? But it's like, it's never gonna end. You know that the author is gonna die? Still not gonna end. I'll bet money on that. Another girl likes you? Bro, like, how? How do you have like 30 girls liking you? Like, what are you doing? I'm not jealous because dating costs money and I'm a streamer. But that's crazy. Good for you, man. Or I guess it doesn't really matter to you, but I personally don't think it looks dumb. Well, you could replace dumb with another word. But to me, it's a bit dumb. Like, she looks like this, okay? Her body, it's like you squish in your body as much as you can and it still doesn't look like that. And then right here, it's like this, okay? It's too much. It's too much. They gotta chill. They gotta chill in that show. Nami developed, and Robin went from having a tan, dark skin to being white. That show makes no sense, bro. Guess he's attractive. Who's attractive? I'm just minding my own business and wearing my anime jacket. Hey, what? Which anime jacket? Like a permanent corset and push-up bra. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's how physical. All right. Good night, bro. Thanks for the sub. Thanks for popping in. Always love seeing you, Josh. If I end up getting Vanguard, I'll definitely hit you up. Peace. Have a very good night. Naruto? What about Naruto? Oh, Naruto jacket. Nice. Very nice. Distribution of mass. That's how physics work? Okay. Nami. I don't know how to look this up without spoiling it for myself. Let me go on incognito so nothing searches, you know. Nami. Figure? I don't know. Nami. Oh, you guys don't see in incognito mode. Ugh, Nami. Body? I don't know. How do I look this out without... Jesus Christ, Google Images. Alright, I'm ending stream early today. No, I'm just joking. But Jesus Christ. Okay, you know what? You guys will just have to take my word for it, okay? Who's your favorite One Piece character? Shanks. I mean, Nami. Nah, Shanks. I took a picture with Nami in Japan. What about searching name before and after time skip? See, I'm not that bright. Nah, I don't want to risk anything. Because after time skip, they might show me something from the manga that's like... manga, whatever. That's like, you know... saucy. Name before... Yeah, no, I mean, I got what you meant. You guys look it up. It's NNN. It's No Not November. Which, you know, I didn't keep. But, you know... gonna mention anyway. I think his other Pokemon are like level 22. I think I'm actually okay with having level 25 Pokemon. Alright? So we're gonna try concentrate on getting B to like level 25. And then our last guy. And then that's it. I'm done with this BS, okay? Training against level frickin' 5s. Yeah, I shaved. I shaved for yesterday's stream. But, no shave November. Oh, yeah. I could do no shave November next year. How about that? I'll do it next year if you guys are still around. PP, I'm the harem king apparently. I know you're like an anime protagonist in isekai. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Oh. Who's your favorite character, Prince? I shaved it, yeah. I don't like my hair with another whirlwind. Wait, guys, whirlwind whirlwind makes more sense on him. But Gust, again, might be useful if he dies. If Pidgey dies. Pidgeot dies. Oh my god. Actually, that makes so much sense on him. Because we could poison powder someone, then whirlwind into someone else, sleep powder them, whirlwind into someone else, you know? But, just for stab damage, I'm not gonna teach him it. Yeah. I guess I don't need sleep powder and... it's too late. Nathan has been isekai'd, you've just never realized it. True. Isekai means out of this world, baby. It actually literally means outside world. I just noticed that. Sekai means world, and E probably comes from Igai, which means like out of, or like outside of, or whatever. It's like out of the world. I'm such a genius sometimes. Why am I versing stupid level 2s, bro? How many hours of my Damn, thanks, Prince. Do you guys hear my keyboard, by the way? Because I've realized that I feel like I'm pretty loud on the keyboard. But I'm assuming you guys can't... No? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, okay. I think the music drowns it out. You don't? Hell yeah! I'm so happy. This is what I'm basically doing. Well, no, that sounds really wrong. I don't know why we got into the topic of... This is what it is. That's basically what I'm doing with my fingers. Like, the whole time. I'm doing it to practice for when I get a girlfriend. Oh my god, why am I making so many stupid jokes today? Do you guys think it's funny? Stupid? Annoying? Okay, so B, to be or not to be. I'm honestly just gonna verse red at this point. I think Prince has to go up levels for sure. Once Prince is able to like get up to like a certain level, we're gonna be Gucci. Anyone know what level Poliwag evolves? See all of the above. No. Wait, was I ready? Did I read it fast enough? Just, I'm so ugly. Oh, I did. Hey, let's go. You know, my sister calls me ugly. And she's right. Yeah. Why practice having a girlfriend when you have a boyfriend? But you don't have a boyfriend. I thought you don't like doing that type of stuff. All the girls who like Nathan are just more alt accounts, just like all of us. Just IRL alt accounts. Like Elon Musk created robots and is testing them out at schools. I'll be your new sister. Listen, as long as you call me hot, I'm okay for it. I'm okay with it. Just recognize who I am for what I am. Is that a saying? It sounds like it should be a saying. I don't know. Nah, my sister's okay. My brother's not good though. My brother, you know what he does? He doesn't subscribe to my Twitch channel. How crazy is that? You have a boyfriend? It's Blaster. No, that's my husband, okay? That's different. Ping Pong has acquired a stepsister. Oh, Prince, you don't even know. You don't even know. I used to have a redeemable thing for a stepsister and stepmom. Because I have a stepmom and a stepsis. I don't know when they'll come back, but eventually they'll be back, I think. You know what I love about Twitch? One of the things that, I don't know about you guys, but honestly, I started to watch Twitch a lot lately, and I forgot how amazing it is to just... Oh, Jesus, Oddish. How's Oddish still doing that? Body slam. This loser actually could learn something worthy. On Twitch, you don't need to have... Like, you don't need to have premium to watch a stream outside of the app. But on YouTube, you do. Unless you have Android and you have the third-party app. Oh, no, not that. I didn't even realize you got rid of those. Really? Is it good that I got rid of them? Please, Stepsis scares me. I know. I know. Stepsis is mad weird. I'm such a weirdo. My stepsis is weird, I meant to say. Oh, I might use Rain Dance against Charmeleon. But he's gonna have metal. He has a metal move. What's it called? I assume it doesn't do much. We only have one potion too. We gotta be really careful in our battle against Red. Especially since we train so much. Stepmom is with Donut 24/7. True. No. Yeah. True. You know he wanted to make merch out of my stepmom. I should make merch on my stepmom. I should make merch now. I tried to make merch and then I ordered my merch and it came in looking so bad. I was like, what is this? So I was like, nope. What if PP stepsis was actually him? Nah, bro. That would be crazy. Yeah, you want to see the dumb merch I made, guys? Because I'm so dumb. By the way, I recognize that no one said yes. No one necessarily wants to see it, but I'm going to show it anyway. Look at this. It looks better on stream, actually. But to be honest, I made the design. I just put one of my emotes. And I was like, that looks good. I know. Show us, please. There you go. I showed you guys. What do you think? I don't think it looks good. Looks good? I don't know. It looks better on stream. I don't know why it doesn't look... I don't know. You got rid of cancel voice. How I get you to shut up now? Wait, did I actually? I guess I did get rid of cancel voice. I got rid of all the voices. Would you rather... Okay. I could put a vote on Discord right now. Would you rather me put all the voices back? For anyone who doesn't know, I had a girl voice that I would do. A Russian voice. A Russian accent. What other voices? We had... Yeah, and then we had cancel voice. Would you rather me add all of that back or just have none of them? Those are cool emotes. I want to have an animation emote. None. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe Doctor wants some. Fronted back. Japan voice. You see, the only reason I don't do a Japanese voice is because I don't know if that's like too much, you know? Like a Russian voice I can do, you know, because my family's kind of Russian. Like all Americans hate Russia. So it's not, you know. But Japanese, I don't even know how to do Japanese voice actually. How would I do that? I don't know. I think speak Japanese and Russian were good. The rest I could take relief. But the thing about speak Japanese or Russian, it's like... You guys don't know what I'm saying. So what's the point of it? It sounds like I'm just showing off. Which I didn't really like. But, I mean, if you guys liked it. Ooh, Linkin Park. But, yeah. I mean, we've definitely switched in and out a bunch of rewards. But, you know, I could still activate most of them at any given time, so that's pretty cool. I remember back then. I remember exercise lightning all around me. We should do karaoke night. Japan, I understand a little. Same with Russian. How do you understand Russian, Nathan? Fate has suddenly found me. Your voice was all I heard. I get what I deserve. So give me a reason. I mean, maybe make them more expensive if you added it back, because it was a bit cheap, but I don't know. I thought it seemed good. Okay. Cinderella. Maybe I put a poll. Reason for Japanese and Russian. I feel like it's like showing off or whatever. I try not to. I don't know. I drank 5 bangs and boom, it just clicked. Oh yeah, bro. You drink too many bang. You don't drink bang as much anymore, right? Just it takes so long to train these guys. When do you evolve, Poliwag? If he evolves at like level 40, this is the most BS game I've ever played in my life. Swell like slow. Poliwag. We were standing, and your voice was all I heard. And I get what I deserve. Just give me reason. Let me see what level he evolves. All was distance in the race. Cross this new. This was in Transformers back in the day. I don't know if you guys watched Transformers, the original Transformers, robots in disguise. Is it in disguise or in the skies? I never know. I never knew until one day that I knew, and now I forgot. What did I want to type in? Oh yeah, Poliwag. Jesus, I can't multitask. Evolves at level 25. Oh, perfect. And that actually works out well. 25. I mean, where did 36 come from? No, I was saying, like, imagine evolves, like, at a very high level. That was just a random number. Oh, because... Oh, you said 36. I think I said, like, 40 or something. It happened in a VC on the server that was saying I was addicted to bank. Yeah. You don't drink bank anymore, though, right? Do you? Nathan's a pathological liar. There never were any banks. There never were more viewers. Aw, that's sad. Cross this truth and line. I like one of the things. Sorry. One of the things I really like about doing Nuzlocks is that I learn more about Pokemon and I actually improve. And not only that, but I remember games more. Like, I remember this game pretty well now because of the previous Nuzlocke we did. Doctor, I swear I would time you out. Why don't you just use your regular account to get points, Nathan? I remember when Panthers only found me. You're not even on your mod account, Elnerd. iNerd? What's an iNerd? Hey, no banning, no banning. I love this song. It's lurking. Oh my god. Okay. No points count from this one, by the way. I just want to let you know. Oh, I think I could single out accounts to not get points. Let me see if I could do that. Do you guys know this song is so good? But I don't feel like I need to do that. It's fine.
Hello there.
Hey, what's up, Darkness? It is discrimination, but some people deserve it. XQCL? Hey, I'm not Miskif. I'm not gonna get mad. I don't have 30,000 viewers. How you doing, bro? Oi! Oi! What did they say? Oi! I don't know what they say. Oi, what's up? I actually heard it that time. Hell yeah. Okay. That's good. I think I might have increased it from before. I'm so happy. I'm like automating so many things. That means, you know, when there's automation, things get people get fired. But in this case, I'm automating things that I would do, so I'm not gonna fire myself. Imagine a streamer that streamed a robot. Imagine I mean, I guess people probably do that. Like people who just do AFK streams, or like if you're just sleeping, it's pretty much a robot. Are you doing a speed run? No, but it looks like I am, right? Basically, I have to get all my Pokemon to level 25, so none of them die in the next battle. Because this game is insane, and I didn't realize it would do that. These are the rules for the Nuzlocke, if anyone has a question, but yeah. What's your question, Nathaniel? I mean, Nathan. You don't like when people call you Nathaniel, right? Bro, I remember the most random information sometimes. They do a lot of sleeping streams where they do like 3-day streams without even showing up once. Yo, I've seen... There's like 2 people I follow. One of them, like every time he streams, it's like going for the world record. And like every time I see him stream, well, not every time, a lot of times I see him stream, and I try to check in at different hours, he's just sleeping. I'm just like, what the hell? And he looks like he's depressed with life. But it's so interesting, like, that I like look at him every once in a while. And I followed him once a long time ago, and I don't think he knows who I am. I wonder if that, like, there are some people that do that, like, with my channel and with other channels. Like, there must be, right? People who just come in and are like, oh, this guy. You know? And they just look for a second and then leave. And then this other guy, he just puts words on stream and he goes to sleep. I would never do a sleeping stream. Nah, I would. I think the only way I would do a sleeping stream is if I had like channel point rewards and probably sub rewards to wake me up and do like crazy stuff. Or like mods are doing stuff. I don't know. You know, otherwise it feels kind of crazy. And it's only follow. Yo, you sent a warning to Yesik and Blaster? No, I'm gonna send it to them. It's actually funny you say that. I actually wrote a reminder to send them a warning December 1st. Because I feel like I came up with the mod rules, or the mod rules became official in the middle of September. So I feel like October it starts. So October, November. If they're not top 10 by the end of November, then I'll send them a warning for December. And it's follow only. I never understood follow only for smaller streamers. But some people do it because they get hate raids or stuff, and that's understandable. It's lazy streaming, and I'd rather follow people who just show tits on stream because at least they put some effort. Yo, some of them put a lot of effort. Yo, sitting in a bathtub for like 10 hours of your life. Jesus Christ, that sounds pretty. You know, like effort. Yes, almost level 25. I do see what you're saying though, Darkness. I personally love to talk, so for me, like, it's hard to stream without talking, and I feel bad if I'm not talking, if that makes sense. But I also just love talking. Do a sleep stream and it's words on stream? Nah. Oh, finally, evolution! Oh, wait, let's get Bubble Beam first. Yo, let's go! Bubble Beam is so powerful. Yes, let's go. I mean, no. The faster you die, the happier I am. I'm evil. Yeah. Like, I don't really care that people do that. But personally, it's hard for me to live life not improving in some way with what I'm doing. That's why I try to, like we have some new rewards. I like doing Pokemon Nuzlocke because, like, I could think of new ideas for next Nuzlocks and make new backgrounds. And even today, I wrote down a bunch of reminders to do. I don't know. But people are different. Do it when you're working. Bad Poliwag. No evolving. Yeah, you suck. Yo, imagine no evolving. That would be annoying. The dead count? Yeah, one person died. I don't ever want to support someone who does AFK streaming when there are so many small streamers who put so much hard work into entertaining the viewers. That's fair. That's nice of you. All I'm saying is, personally for me, like I my face went away. Wait, give me a second. I have to change my Poliwhirl into my Poliwag into Poliwhirl. I definitely feel like I should work hard towards, you know, getting more viewers and all this stuff. But I don't know. Like people who do sleeping streams, from what I've seen, tend to do like very long streams anyway. Still a bit weird to me personally, but yeah. I can understand that, Darkness. That's nice of you. No one died. No one died. I'm saying I wish he died because I'm supposed to be evil. Okay, this is actually really good. All we have to train up is B now, and then we're ready to verse Red, I'm pretty sure. Like, the way I view streaming, the way I view a lot of things in life is like, or I try to more and more, like, just kind of like that. A lot of things are out of my control, and there are some things that are in my control. So if people do sleep streams, like, I just won't watch them because that's, what am I watching? Someone sleeping? That's just how I see it. But get better. Yeah. Wait, what? Get better what? I have to become a better streamer? Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry. Gomennasai. Imagine do the roulette again and instantly have to throw away one of these strong Pokemon. Oh no, that I am fully expecting that. This team is literally... I hate this team, you know? Because F these Pokemon, I'm literally just using them. I have to be in character. So, like... But honestly, like, yeah, I'm training them up knowing full well that every single one of these Pokemon could be gone in, like... in an hour. But the hope is that the Pokemon I steal are, you know, strong enough that it's not a big loss to lose these guys. Kiru. And we just need them for red for sure. But I would love to keep all of them, obviously. I mean, we do many things in life, and streaming is want to get better, and sleeping streams don't improve you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sleeping streams are quite odd. I think like if you have rewards that can wake up your you gift a sub and like a blowhorn gets played and it wakes up the streamer. Like that could be funny. But if your whole stream is centered around sleeping, I think that's weird. If you're doing like people who do subathons that do like 10-day subathons or whatever, like you're gonna have to sleep eventually, right? So what do you do in that period of time? My solution, if I were to do that, which I do plan on doing that in the future, like a very long subathon, my solution would be to have moderators. My hope would be that I could pay moderators to kind of make it fun for chat if I were at that point, you know. Right now I can't afford to do that. And or have a like reward set up to wake me up and to do fun stuff in the stream, you know. But yeah. They started becoming a thing after Ludwig did the subathon, so people found a loophole. Go AFK and call it a sleeping stream. You see, the reason I don't get mad at stuff like that, and I'm not saying you're getting mad. I don't know if you're mad at it or whatever. But the reason I don't get mad is because, like, if people want to watch that, then they're doing what people want to watch. And if people don't watch that, then it does nothing for them, you know? So, at the end of the day, it's like what... All of streaming is what people want, you know? All streamers are, at the end of the day, trying to entertain their viewers or trying to, you know, so like if you could do that by sleeping on stream, you know what, man, you're able to do that. I heard that Ludwig had more viewers during his sleeping than at any other point of time. So, well, you know, it's interesting. I just get annoyed a bit, not all. Yeah, I think it's fair to get annoyed. I think personally it's very hard. I learned something when I was in Japan. When I was very lucky to have an amazing friend who viewed life in... he was very appreciative of his life. He's from South Africa, and I guess a combination of where he was born and how his parents are and just how he is as a person made him to be like he's just a very good-hearted person. And I went to his apartment once, and he had on his wall the saying, "Comparison is the theft of joy." And because I knew the type of person he was, and I saw that quote in that moment, I don't know, things just kind of, like, you know how you get that aha moment sometimes? That happened to me. And now I'm kind of just like, you know, like, there's no, and I'm not, this is kind of a tangent, like, it's kind of dumb, I'm sorry, but, like, I think it's interesting anyway. Like, it's just, comparison doesn't help for anything, you know? It just makes you have a toxic way of thinking about things. At least that's what I think. Psybeam? Yo, let's go. Psybeam is Psybeam is literally just a better confusion in this game, at least. I thought it was different stats, but I guess they're using Gen 6. Some are doing it for money and followers. I'm not even a streamer and it still bothers me. That's so true, yeah. Yeah, like, the reason why that doesn't bother me is because it's like, some are doing it for money and followers, but if they get money and followers like that, that means that people like watching that for whatever reason. And that's weird to me. That could be weird to me, and maybe it could be frustrating in a way, but it also depends what your goals are, you know? So if my goals were to be better than another person, and I put more effort, then that could be frustrating. But if my goal is just, I don't know, like, it depends what your goal is. Like, for example, when I was teaching English in Japan, a lot of people that had the same job as me, like teaching English as foreigners, they would complain about how they don't get overtime pay, because Japan is a bit behind in certain things culturally, especially compared to the US. So they didn't get paid for overtime work. And I didn't care personally that I didn't get paid. But that's like you have to figure out what your priorities are and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not one more level. Oh yeah, you're right. One more level. I'm not saying I'm completely a positive person. They mostly have like 1 to 2 followers. I don't think that's working too well. Yeah, to me, it makes me sad, to be honest. I feel bad when I see people do something and they don't see results and they're really trying to go for results. I feel bad when the solution is there and they can't see it. Like, some people, they just refuse not to see it, or they know the solution but they don't want to work for it or whatever, right? But when someone doesn't know the solution to a problem, or like how to do something better or whatever, it just makes me feel sad. Like, even if they know, it kind of makes me feel sad. It's like, but you could be doing better, you know? But honestly, I basically hurt myself the most. Not like self-harm, but like I shit on myself more than like looking towards other people. I found. I think so, at least. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's life, isn't it? Yep. Like, for example, if I'm not doing good on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever, I'm like, you know, it's because I keep switching games around. That's probably a big reason. And also, like, I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing that, and I'm not spending enough time on that. Like, I just shit on myself. Because I think, because the fact of the matter is, a lot of things are in your own control, you know? Not everything is, obviously. And it's hard to push yourself to do certain things. But yeah, I still shit on myself. Which I've gotten better at. By the way, if this is annoying or boring, let me know. But I've realized that the more you concentrate on, the more you have your eggs in the different baskets, the easier it is to kind of live life and to not feel too strongly on different things. So for example, like, I'm trying to get larger, or trying to get better at Twitch and YouTube. And I'm trying to do Uber Eats. And I'm trying to exercise. I have it on my whiteboard. I'm trying to do yoga, meditation. I'm trying to go on my phone less often. I'm trying to eat less cheese. So when I do one of these things, it's easier to like it's easier to just like, you know, go through everything. Because even if I didn't do 4 out of 5 things, at least I did one thing. That's how I try to look at how to stuff. And that's a very big tangent from what you're talking about, but my bad. People are different and have different experiences. We can't judge everyone as we don't know what's going on in their head. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I feel like you can judge people. Like, I can judge Hitler, right? Like, I can judge him for what he's done. But at the same time, I haven't lived that person's life. So I think like being able to listen and try to understand other people while still having your own opinion is like the perfect thing, and it's very hard to do. So if I disagree with someone, you know, my goal should be trying to understand why they think that way, but also expressing what I think, you know? A goal to try and start you off. Yeah, goals are important. Goals are tricky. I feel like goals are tricky. I think mindset is very, 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 very important. I think that's like one of the most important things in life for almost anything you do. And that's affected by a lot of different things. That could be affected by your socioeconomic status. That could be affected by the foods you eat. I think diet is a big contributor to that. That could be affected by the people you hang around. That could be affected by your own personality and all these different things. But you could also affect your mindset. Alright, so that's why I think meditation is good. Hey, dick, nice. 25, 25, 25, 29. I know this seems actually insane.
Monkey do very good.
We're gonna F red up, baby. Hell yeah. I didn't hear the TTS. Let me give you back the points. But we're gonna F him up. Let's see if I can give it back. Do you record separately for YouTube, or do you just put your streams there? Save first. Great idea. Let me just look for my... Let me just give him points back. I don't know why that didn't go through. So what I do... I actually privated almost all my videos so I could go fully Pokemon. And then I'll unprivate some of my videos slowly. All of my videos slowly. To like try to play with the YouTube's algorithm and stuff. But for now, I record everything. I edit it, and then I make it one big video. But I also just keep... I put all my streams on a separate channel for like an archive of all the streams. Because Twitch doesn't save everything. And I think it would be cool to have all of them. IQ Plus, let's go. I love the song. Let's beat the hell out of Red. Yo, he's not gonna see what's coming, bro. This is gonna be crazy. I'm actually excited for this. Oh yeah, let's save. Oh, I pressed the wrong save button. Hopefully that didn't screw anything up. Okay, it didn't. Okay, cool. Okay, we gotta put Prince first. And not screw up. Time to see if you gotta restart, unless you cheat. I'm scared. Okay, let's first look at let's first look it up, alright? Should we look it up? Actually no, I'm not gonna look it up. Because you know what? I'm evil. And I want all my stupid Pokemon to die. We're gonna kill Red. It's gonna be like nothing. Look at this loser level 3 Pokemon. Let's go, baby. I live in New York. Brooklyn, New York. My exact address is not knowledge that I'll share right now, unfortunately. My Fortnite name is Nathan. Oh yeah, that's right. The Naruto Fortnite thing, right? I'm waiting. Are you from New York? Are you from Brooklyn? No way. No way you're from Brooklyn, New York. Bro, did you go to the same school I went? Send me your Fortnite name on Discord. Oh, you're from India. Okay. We had an awesome Indian viewer back when I used to stream on YouTube. He was great. He was like the nicest guy ever. But the times don't work right now for him to watch. So I'm surprised you're watching now. But that's cool. You live in India and you're from India? Yeah, send it to me on Discord, Nathan. I might end up getting it. Ugh, not here. I might end up getting that Fortnite again. Ooh, I have to talk about Gone Monkey with Diego. With Diego, sorry. I don't watch American YouTubers because of 12-hour difference. It's very difficult to make American friends. Yeah, that's why I'm surprised you're here right now. That's pretty cool. Jesus, it took us like 3 hours of grinding. Right? To get everyone to level 25. How sad is that? That's pretty crazy that we got that far, though. Alright, let's do this, baby. Bro, am I stupid? Don't answer that. I'm literally going the same way. Okay. We don't need to verse her. Sekai saemo shimae sora. It's 10:30 a.m. Wow, that's early. Yes, yes you are. I am what? Wait, I'm what? Your English is really good, though. You are stupid? I am stupid. Oh, that. Oh, yeah. You see, I already forgot what we were talking about. I am stupid. I'm sorry. Aww. It's okay, guys. Wait. A revive. Great. This guy talks about getting beat up by red. Oh no, by blue actually. PP, they add paper bombs. That's cool, but I don't really like. Hey, we're close to zero. Closer to zero. That's cool, but I don't really like Fortnite that much, you know? The moment of truth, baby! You guys ready? Wait, we need better music for this. We need better music. Okay. We need better music. Hey, why I keep minusing? Because this is gonna be intense. I was in a European Minecraft community, so I got better at speaking it. Oh, cool! That's really cool. A in the 80s, yeah, but I had to switch. I had to put intense music. It's time! It's time to verse red! Today we go to war! Red, you're going down, you loser. Spartans? I don't know if this is from Spartans, but... Oh, like we go to war? Did they say that in Spartans? I don't know. Charmeleon. Charmeleon will die. You will die from my prince. Kill that stupid Charmeleon. That emperor. What a loser. Damn it, why'd you burn me? It's time for death. I don't know, Diego probably had to go for a bit. Why do we have to get burned? Pikachu. Wait, who do we use Pikachu? Fairy. Fairy, you better come in clutch. You're almost freaking level 30. You whammon. Do we minimize into Wake Up Slap? No, let's first see how much Wake Up Slap will do. Ooh. Hours turn into months. Months turn into decades. That's how long we spent training to defeat you, Red. Our first level 30. Get out of here, Pikachu. This is training. Got Monkey that's not here. You don't need to be here 24/7. Nidorino. What a noob. Wait, Nidorino does what I think it does, right? Oh, that's a ground and psychic? Oh, it's a poison type. It's gonna use poison things. What do I change into here, actually? Ground and psychic. I don't have any ground and psychic moves. Do we use Twister? Oh no! We changed into B. I completely forgot. B, it's time for you to demolish Red. Thank you, Darkness. It was nice talking. I'll see you, bro. Thanks for popping in. Always appreciate it. Psybeam his ass. It didn't kill him. I don't control the ads, guys, okay? Thank you. I'll send you back the love. He had a citrus berry? Are you kidding me? It means nothing. Psybeam, critical hit now. Damn it. And he's confused. Let's go. Look at this loser. He's not gonna hit. What a loser. Actually loser. Yeah, heal up your Nidorino. Let's see if I can. What a loser using super potion. I can't even afford that. How many super potions is it gonna use, loser Red? I thought you were a trainer, not a loser. Oh my god. I have enough Psybeams, bro. Look at that. Out of here. Get out of here. Jesus, what's next? A sucky Pokemon? Pidgeotto. Pidgeotto. What do I use against Pidgeotto, actually? Damn it. What do I use against Pidgeotto? I know his weaknesses, but we don't have Ice, Electric, or Rock. I can only assume that he'll have the same moves as I do. This is it. You can do it! Well, I should add that sound effect. You can do it, that's awesome. His Pidgeotto will possibly have these moves. So do I take my Pidgeotto out and use Twister? We're gonna go Pidgeotto against Pidgeotto. You're not the only one that has a Pidgeotto. Level 24, Jesus. Fly might be more powerful here, actually. With stab damage. We're gonna use Fly. I'm actually smart, Prince, I remember. Okay, not bad. Jesus, how much did Tackle do? Go for another Fly. All he has is Fly, what a loser. Sand Attack. That's a bit scary, guys. Sand Attack is actually... He has a berry. Half your Pokemon have berries? Jesus Christ. Don't miss. No, I should have Whirlwinded there. Okay, I hit. Good job, good job. Damn it. We might do the switch out strategy right now. Switch out to Fairy and then switch out back to Voldy. But then again, we could... You know what? We're gonna risk it. Super Potion. How many Super Potions do you have? You got this, Voldy. I want you to die, but not yet. Yes! Yes! We're gonna change to Fairy. You're taking way too much damage. Okay, good. Yeah, we were right, Prince. That's exactly what I was thinking, to be honest. Do we minimize? Or do we wake up slap? You know what? I want to see how much wake up slap does first. You're paralyzed? You're such a loser. Wake up slap. Let's go! One more wake up slap, baby. He has no more super potions left. Get out of here! You're a loser, but you hit it. Good job, Fairy. I'm proud of you. You actually did something useful for once in your goddamn life. Next is Butterfree. Jesus Christ. Butterfree's gonna have annoying moves. What we might do here is we might take out B. We might go for a poison powder. What do you guys think? To do or to not to do? Actually, Fly would kill him. Straight for Gus might be better. Or Fly. Alright, we're gonna try Gus. Oh my god, he probably has Gus too. B, you might die, but you better hit first. And you better do good damage. Good job, B. I knew he was gonna do sleep potion. See, I'm an idiot. I told you guys I should have poisoned or something. Damn it. We'll go into Fairy. Okay, because we're paralyzed, he can't do anything to us. Why do you have Supersonic? And you hit it. Jesus Christ. Fairy, you're useless. But you did something for once in your... Of course it does nothing, and they have a Citrus Berry. What, every Pokemon you have has a Citrus Berry? Alright. We're gonna go for the minimize. You have Confusion? Oh, snapped out of Confusion. Let's go, Fairy. This is the minimize strat right here. How do you still hit Supersonic? Nah, I don't want to heal Pidgeotto. We only have one heal. We only have one potion. From what I remember. We have a Paralyze heal. I want to see how much Pound does. Yes, miss your Confusion. Snap out of your Confusion, you loser. Okay, you hit. Pound did well. Bro, you don't understand. Fairy's able to tank everything. Let me tell you, why that... Let me tell you both, guys, why it's a bad idea to heal Pidgeotto, and why I'm a genius, okay? This is not my first rodeo. If I heal Pidgeotto, and I take him out, and if, his Pokemon uses, Sleep Powder, then I could be screwed, because I have no more potions left. Do you guys get it? Fairy can tank the most on this team right now. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna add tension. And we're gonna heal Fairy. 20. It only did 20. How are you hitting? How are you hitting everything? Snapped out of Confusion. Yes. Make yourself useful. Super Potion! Are you kidding me? He missed. Right, come on. You just need to hit 1 or 2 more pounds. You missed 0 super spot. Don't hit yourself. You're a loser. Yes. Good job, you freaking loser. What a stupid Butterfree. If you miss, I'm releasing you. Paralyzed. I can't be arsed to switch back and forth between accounts anymore. I'll just stay on the alt. Alright, good night, bro. Sorry for screaming so much. Good night, doctor. Don't hit yourself. Just hit Butterfree. You're actually not as useless as I expected. was actually beautiful. Jesus Christ. Guys, we did it. Wait, you have another Pokemon? He has a Mankey. Good night. Good night. Good night. Yo. Bye bye. Shisho? I don't know what music to put now. Do I risk a fly? I'm gonna first see if... Wait, I'm such an idiot. Wait, he doesn't die to fighting moves, right? He doesn't die to fighting moves. Yeah, it's okay. We're gonna go for sleep powder into a side beam. If he wakes up. Critical hit. You freaking loser, Mankey. Wake up! Wake up, you loser! Oh, it doesn't affect him. You're gonna get poisoned. You're getting side beamed. Get the hell out of here, Mankey. Get out of here, Mankey. You all have citrus berries. He's weak against flying. Yeah, but... I could have used this to lift confusion. Oh my god. Should we take Voldy out? We're gonna take Voldy out. Jesus, how much damage did you do to Voldy? I think we'll have to take Prince out. Don't switch. Oh, I was faster. I'm such an idiot. I was faster. I could have killed Mankey. I'm actually an idiot. Be faster. I don't know which will do more. Bubble beam with stab damage. Kill him. Kill him. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ, bro. Alright, I switched out. Okay, guys? I switched out. I switched out because I forgot that he was faster. Okay? I just definitely should have just killed. But the second I switched out, I was forced to keep switching out because I kept taking damage. And Pidgeotto took way too much damage. He probably would have died. The other guy was almost dead. And then the poison kept attacking it, so I was just hoping that would help. Back in the 80s, yep. What are you gonna say, Red, huh? What are you gonna say, you loser? He said, did you use cheat codes? You weren't supposed to beat me. How's a man supposed to keep a plot going if you go about messing it up? Just go along with what happens next. Pretend I just beat you straight out, okay? Yo, look how much money we have! We can actually buy items now. It wasn't the first fight, but yeah. 7 hours, easy. Oh my god. That was actually mad funny. That's why I love ROM hacks. They do stuff like this in ROM hacks. Save some for Team Rocket Shop. Can I buy like... I don't need to buy Pokeballs, so that's good. F you, Red. Yeah. Wait, can I move? He just stole a fossil. I love how he just stole a fossil. Wait, where's my Pokemon? Why can't I go to my Pokemon? No. Don't tell me it's a glitch in the game. Or they just don't give me access to my Pokemon right now. Why'd I even agree to do this stupid job? I should have stayed at Pewter Museum. Finally, we could actually continue with the game. Story time, right? And try to get to a Poke-Enter. I don't know what that is, bro. Okay. For Christ's sakes. Guys, you're never gonna believe this. There's another crazy strong little kid. Yeah, we fought him. And I owned him! Oh! That was actually so close. That was such a fun battle. Not a glitch, you should be good? Okay, cool. Oh, Poke Center. I don't think burn affects when you're walking, but definitely. What did you guys do? Bro, I beat him, okay? It's just for the plot. Well, listen, we both tried to fend him off, but he was way too strong. I beat him. I beat him. Bro, I beat him. This is a hard Nuzlocke. I beat him. Look at this loser. Well then. Jesus Arceus Christ, this is gonna go over well with boss. The kid, I suppose he got a good look at him. What kind of clothes? Yes, sir. Only barely. This pink-haired grunt fought him too, though. I don't know if maybe he fared any better. You, what's your name? Pong? That's right. You remember what he looked like? Nah, I don't remember what he looked like, you loser. Nah, I remembered. What would happen if I said no? That'll spoil Doom for Team Rocket's image. The boss wants to talk to you. You're all dismissed. What about me? I found the fossils, didn't I? Yeah, and that did nothing. What a loser. Stupid little purple bearded jerk. Everyone hates him. But I'm the strongest person here, so it's okay. You're definitely going to want to know when the next major fight is. At least then you won't have to do all of this again. Or have a better chance. True. I mean, why? Will I have to train up my guys like crazy for that? Yes, they put me at the hideout. That's good. Okay, I want to go heal before anything else, okay? Not so fast. Boss would like to see you. Oh my god. Can I heal my guys? I'm gonna have to train like crazy for the next big battle too. Are you serious? Alright. In that case, yeah, I will want to know. That's true. You'll definitely have to train specifically because this is a Nuzlocke. I mean, if it's gonna be around the same level, I don't want to train for it. Because I want it to be more challenging. Otherwise, sure. If you're looking for boss's office, it's down on the bottom floor through the elevator. Wait, I want to see what else we have access to. Does the game give us access to anything? I love how people are just chilling. Let's see. These freaking arrow tiles make me dizzy. Why are they even here? True! I guess in preparation for the headquarters to be good. Team Rocket is going soft. I want to steal more Pokemon. What do you want? Oh! You should be fine since the red battle was meant to be a loss. Well, it depends if we lose the next Pokemon we steal. I kind of don't want to check, though. Maybe we will, though. We'll see. Are there, like, normal items I can buy? Oh, wait. I could just go to the normal, Because doesn't one of my Pokemon require friendship here? Oh, no. Never mind. They don't. None of them require friendship. So, I don't know if these are cheaper or not. I'll buy, like, 5 heal powders. Oh, this isn't the shop? That's mom's favorite. Alright, so I'll just wait for the shop then. Mo, I told you money down. That's just random guys saving stuff. Not nice, so king, cause I'm not talking all day, all night, all night. It's kind of funny to talk to some of these guys. Never seen a gangster nerd before? Actually, no. I don't think I have. You know I always love me a bad girl. The way you rob them trainers. You and me, girl, we could take on the world like Bonnie and Clyde. Isn't that what they all say? Damn. Good luck, guy. Yo, I have pink hair. You want to go out with me, girl? Oh, never mind. You're not even looking at me. Should be at floor 3. Oh yeah, I'm just checking out the other floors. Oh, you're saying floor 3 should be the shop? This is floor 3. There we go. Coin case. Now that's what I'm looking for. Something. I stole this Rapidash. I beat him, then I snatched it right from under his nose. My ass. You couldn't even steal a thing from Cool Trainer. You got that from spoiled little youngster kid. That's mad funny. All day, all night, all night. Do I look important to you? I basically just sit around here all day looking at internet forums. I just come in the morning and leave when they tell me. The pay's pretty crap. Lol, real people. Especially with them giving you some free cools. True. I don't watch Fade, actually, no. She's the executive. Rumor has it she and him had a baby. Lol. Down with like, will not stand by and let that Jotanian tyrant bring our glorious region to ruin. My friend here is a little intense. I'm just in it for kicks. I love that they bring personality to like every single Pokemon person I'm in. The little rookie went and did his first mission, did he? Did you have fun stealing Caterpie and getting shoved around by Petrol's grumpy ass? Glory to you. Hey, you want to fight, bro? I got a level 25 Voldy, okay? Voldemort. You don't want to see his face. I thought they said floor 1. Am I dumb? Don't answer that. Every time I tell you money done. Is down on the bottom floor through the elevator? Wait,